Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the studio. I just finished up a new painting. I call it Silent Reflection. You can see it in the background, and it features a bear and Lake McDonald. Lake McDonald is located in Glacier National Park. It's become a very popular lake to visit in the summer especially. So I wanted to do something a little different with this piece. I've seen a lot of beautiful paintings out there, but I try and do something a little different where I put a different sense of perspective into it, and it forces the viewer essentially to look through the painting a little bit more, kind of hidden structures and hidden elements. So this piece was pretty fun to make, and it was a bit playful. I made a few mistakes in it, but then I was able to change it up, so you're gonna see what happens during this video. So basically have a time lapse, and I'm gonna narrate over it and describe to you exactly what I was thinking. So I hope you enjoy this video and join along. So here's a quick look at my palette that I like to use in the studio. I use Blue Ridge oil paints. I think they're a great paint and also a great company. So I'm starting this painting off with a warm underpainting. Just a mixture of Gamsol and raw sienna. Just a wash, so it's really thin, and it's nice to use it for basically keeping track of composition, and just gives it a warmer feel at the end, especially using a lot of blue paint. So I'm starting off with the sky, and originally I was thinking that I wanted to have a bit more of a muted sky, and I didn't actually like that, so I ended up changing that out. I typically like to use the Al Prima method, which means paint in one go, but for this sky it just didn't work, so I went ahead and put it down in the water too to match that. I did use a bit of liquid in this, which is a medium that allows oil paint to dry a little quicker and also gives it a little bit more flow. So now I'm going back up and over the sky again, and I'm using much lighter and more saturated true blues for a clear sky. I'm going over the water one more time. When you paint water, usually the reflection is a bit less saturated than the sky. So now I'm actually blocking in the mountain shapes, and as I step forward towards the viewer, I'm becoming darker. I'm also letting some of that underpainting show through, which gives the mountains a little warmer feel. Now I'm blocking in the bear, and I'm making sure to make the bear quite dark. When you're trying to build depth into a painting, things that are closer to you are typically much darker and higher contrast. So it's very useful to have your darks in first, and then you can actually build depth into your painting that way. Now I'm going over the mountains one more time, and I'm starting to actually block in some snow shapes. My goal was trying to catch the fading light. This was around sunset time, and it was also about mid-spring, typically when the bears are starting to come out. So I've started blocking in some of the snow, and I'm being a bit more playful with it. Just adding a lot of different color varieties. The sun is just catching it, and the snow is beginning to melt. But you can tell there's still quite a bit of snow in the high peaks. I'm going over the far bank on the other side now, just making sure I like my values. It's at that point in the day where the sun is really just hitting the high peaks and bounce lights sort of hitting across where the forest would be. Oh, I enjoyed painting these two peaks. They both have a lot of character, and I love the way the shadow is cast on the other further mountain. Now I'm going over a shore that's actually quite a bit closer to us now, so it's gotten quite a bit darker. Now, unfortunately, had some glare there, but I ended up painting a few tree shapes over on the other side. Now this part is just work. You end up having to mirror similar colors and tones onto the actual lake surface. And this is where Alla Prima is really nice, because you can actually blend and mix how you want, especially when it comes to water. Everything sort of moves into one. That's actually going to be some ripples, because just on the other side, it's actually the outlet for the lake. This view is from Lake McDonald Creek, looking right into the lake. So now I'm going over the bear again, and I actually struggled a little bit with this bear. Not so much because of what I was painting, but because I tried to do a different type of paint than I usually do, which was I used a transparent red oxide for his underpainting, his darker tones, and I realized I just didn't like that as much. It didn't give the harmony, the color harmony I was looking for originally, and you can see it's turned quite a bit redder than I like. You know, bears are actually very dark. They have that dark fur underneath, and even grizzlies, they do have gold in them, but especially around sunset, you wouldn't even know it if you walked around a bear on the other side of the shore there where there isn't any light at all. So I ended up going over him again. I did have the camera off at the time, but in the end it ended up working out. So here's a close-up of the final painting, and I had mentioned before I didn't record the last step, unfortunately, but at the very end I ended up putting a cloud above the mountains. It resembles an eagle soaring above the peaks, so there it is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comments below and I'll definitely answer it. If you like this video and you want to see more of it in the future, go ahead and like and subscribe. I appreciate it, and until next time, take care.